This is LuigiRocks132, and today we are ranking the top 20 Legend of Zelda games. First is the Bad Apples. These Zelda games are absolute trash, and you should never, ever pick them up, at all. They're horrid. Number 20, Four Swords. Yeah, Four Swords is on the Game Boy Advance. It's just a 4-player Zelda game. Its gameplay and bosses are good, but besides that, it's just a 4-player Zelda game. Don't get it. Number 19, Triforce Heroes. This title debuted on the Nintendo 3DS. And it's kind of like a Four Swords 2. The game itself isn't really that fun. But it does look good, so that's what makes it look. Number 18, Link: The Faces of Evil. Known for great memes and odd cutscenes, Link: The Faces of Evil is kind of like a 2D side-scroller, but it's on the CDI. And if it's on the CDI, it's trash. Number 17, Zelda 2. Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, is basically a side-scrolling RPG. It introduced a magic meter and Dark Link, but it's the side-scroller and it's not like the open 3D perspective from the original. Number 16 is Four Swords Adventures. I'm ranking this one on the last of the Bad Apples list because, well, it has a lot of better dungeon gameplay, and it has more style that resembles Link to the Past, which is pretty cool. But the only problem is that it is a 4-player Zelda game, and it's just basically a sequel to Four Swords. Graphics do look really cool, but yeah, it's just a Four Swords game. This category is the average category. These are games that, they're good old harmless fun. Just like the Mario one, good old harmless fun. Starting off from number 15, let's start with the game that started it all, the OG Zelda on the NES. The Legend of Zelda sees a boy in green named Link saving a girl called Zelda from the evil clutches of Ganon, which seeks to destroy Hyrule and take the Triforce, which Link ain't gonna let that happen. Now our hero has to go through 8 dungeons, plus the second quest to save Zelda. This is where the iconic Zelda things appear, such as Octoroks, the inclusion of the famous quote, "It's dangerous to go alone," where he gets Link his first sword, and more. For number 14, the first Zelda game in the timeline, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword sees the high-flying hero Link, which has to save Zelda from Girahim and demise. So Link has to go through both sky and ground to save the day on a town called Skyloft. This game even had a remake on the Nintendo Switch called Skyward Sword HD. Number 13 is Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening is a game about a player called Link, obviously, who's stranded on an island. Not just any island, but the mystical Koholint Island. So Link must meet familiar and not so familiar characters. This game is the first game not to have Ganon, not to have Zelda, or not even to have the legendary Master Sword. This game is an odd duck, but a golden goose egg if you like it that much. For number 12, we got The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass was a DS title in 2007, which was the first game to let Link move with the stylus. You have to go on a boat and travel through different dungeons, kind of like how in the Wind Waker. And you have to defeat an evil menace named Bellium, a squid-like monster who wants to take control of the seas of Hyrule. But Link is not going to let that happen. The puzzles in Phantom Hourglass are one of the best in the Zelda series. Number 11, the Oracle games. Oracle of Ages and Seasons have different plots. Oracle of Seasons has Link save Holodrum from the evil big bad Onyx inside the Temple of Seasons, which who captured Din, the respective Oracle. While in Seasons, the evil twin Rova actually took over Holodrum in the Temple of Ages. These games are really fun, and you have to play them both to experience the full story. Next is the Rupee Spenders category. This category is games you definitely want to get your hands on. These are must-plays. Like, you should play them. For number 10, we got Minish Cap. This story follows a boy in green, which is named Link, which he finds a hat in the Minish Woods named Eslo. He and Eslo become friends and stop the evil winged mage Vati to save the Light Force. And, of course, Zelda. Link's gonna have to go on a miniature adventure and go through different dungeons and solve puzzles to get through in this Game Boy Advance classic. For number 9, we have The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Known as the greatest 2D Zelda game of all time, A Link to the Past sets place in Hyrule as Link, living with his uncle, is trying to stop Aghanim to resurrect Ganon using the pendants that are found in the dungeons. Link must travel through light and dark worlds to stop this monster and stop to turn Hyrule into his own image. So Link must use his sword, shield, bow, and hookshot to save the day. Key moments of this awesome Super Nintendo title is the gameplay, the characters, the story, and the bosses. This is actually the first Zelda game I've ever played and beaten. Number 8 is the sequel of the previous game, A Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. A Link Between Worlds sees Link teaming up with Ravio to defeat Yuga, the evil sorceress with an artistic side. He must venture into dungeons and stop him. Ravio is the shopkeeper of Lorule. He gives you items and materials you need on your quest. This game has a lot. It introduced Hilda, Yuga. It has different dungeons and introduced the wall form mechanic. The wall form could be used to simply just basically become a painting and go through walls. It was pretty neat, and the dungeons are really fun, with some of them having a unique gimmick that separates it from the Super Nintendo sequel. And this was on the 3DS, so it was bigger, better, and way better to play, even for a 3DS game. Number 7, The Legend of Zelda: Spirit Tracks. Spirit Tracks is a sequel to Phantom Hourglass, but instead on a boat, you go on a train. You team up with Phantom Zelda to go through dungeons, solve puzzles, go on train tracks, and you have to defeat Brine and Chancellor Cole from summoning the Demon Lord Maladus. There's different dungeons, and each of them have a unique gimmick, and there's different trains. And look out for the golden train that could be seen in The Legend of Zelda: Spirit Tracks on the Nintendo DS. Number 6, The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask is set in the world of Termina, which an imp named Skull Kid is setting a moon to destroy Termina in only 3 days. Link must use his ocarina to plan his schedule and defeat nasty bosses, and save Termina from utter destruction by the creepy moon. You have to save the Bronze, the Zoras, and the Deku. These games are the Legends of Hyrule category. These games are the best Zelda game ever known. Fun for non-Zelda fans and Zelda fans alike. These are great games to play. Sailing in at number 5 is The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker. First released on the GameCube in 2002, The Wind Waker is a really great game with cel-shaded art styles and more cartoony art styles. It follows the hero Link trying to save Zelda from Ganondorf, shocker. But this time, he has a boat named King Daphnis and a sassy pirate named Tetra. Here Link has to sail the high seas, find treasure, solve dungeons, and meet a quirky cast of characters such as Beetle and many other mainstays in The Wind Waker. The Wind Waker is a game that seriously needs to come to Switch. Number 4, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. This N64 classic sees Link travel through time as a kid and as an adult. He has to stop Ganondorf, and to do so, he must rescue the 7 sages, both of young and old. He uses his handy-dandy Ocarina of Time, and this is the first time Link has ever went 3D. Fun fact, Ocarina of Time was inspired by Super Mario 64's game engine and its open-world exploration. Number 3, The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sees Link reawaken after a 100-year slumber. With his Sheikah Slate in hand, he goes into the open worlds of Hyrule and, of course, saves the day. He uses different runes on his Sheikah Slate, such as Stasis, Remote Bombs, Magnesis, Cryonis, and Stasis. He has to stop Calamity Ganon from laying seeds to Hyrule. Number 2, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom is the sequel to Breath of the Wild. From the gameplay that we saw, it was amazing. It was kind of like where you can craft your own boats and stuff, which was really cool for Tears of the Kingdom. The game's not out yet, but it looks amazing. The story looks really good. It seems to kind of have similarities to Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess, and have new runes that Link could use on his journey. Number 1, The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess. You saw this coming. Twilight Princess is and will always be my favorite Zelda game. In this game, Link sets off to stop the evil Twilight King Zant and Ganondorf from ruining Hyrule. Link allies with the mysterious imp known as Midna, and they go through different dungeons, both as normal form and wolf form. This game introduced classic and new elements alike that would shape the series forever.